I'm Adeline and it is so nice to meet you. Welcome to the 55th Celebrity Synastry chart reading where we will be covering Ariana Grande and Evan Peters. For those new and returning, I take notes on a synastry chart looking at the personal planet signs aspects and birth times available house overlays. I also add my insights and interpretations along the way. Feel free to leave your own in the comments below. Before we start the reading, give this video a like and subscribe for more celebrity synastry chart readings from me. Let's get into it. Starting off with the sun, we have Ariana's sun in Cancer and Evan's sun in Aquarius. Evan thinks Ariana is clingy and Evan unintentionally hurts Ariana. Evan has difficulty fulfilling Ariana. They have contrasting lifestyles and Evan is detached and Ariana is attached. Evan's sun overlaid in Ariana's first house. Evan really likes Ariana, potentially has difficulty showing it though. Marriage is possible and Ariana is energized by Evan. Evan is a light in Ariana's life and they both feel positive about the other. Both feel familiar with each other. Evan feels like Ariana really gets him. They bring out the best in each other and Evan feels he can be himself around Ariana. Ariana appreciates the admiration she gets from Evan. Ariana's sun square Evan's moon. There's a basic misunderstanding and practical disagreements. I have to assume this would root from their detachment and attachment, that contrast they have there. General discontent, and Evan sees Ariana is too rational and selfish. Again, potentially selfish if she gets very attached and clingy to him. Could very easily see that as her being selfish. Ariana sees Evan as too sensitive and Evan may feel resentful towards Ariana over time. Ariana's sun square Evan's Mars. Sparks fly, there's a competitive nature here. There's a tendency to interrupt each other and individual egos create problems. I mean, from what we have seen so far, you can definitely see it as an ego thing. We did see with that overlay that they do get that sort of admiration from each other that they really enjoy. I kind of see the ego problem because we did just see there is that whole thing of both of them feel quite admired by the other. So if you're here because your ego is stroked, that's not necessarily the best thing. Productive to work on a mutual goal and they both need to stop focusing on the details. Ariana feels challenged by Evan's dominance, interesting. They need to respect each other's natural habits. Definitely with their attachment versus detachment, I feel like so far that seems to be quite a big wedge. Over time get more annoyed with each other, which we just saw with Evan eventually being more annoyed and irritated with Ariana.
Now for the intermission. This video is brought to you by me, my Etsy store, Adeline the Astrologer. If you ever watch this and think, hey, I would like her to read my synastry chart, well, I will. I do personalized synastry readings on my Etsy store, both basic and detailed. The basic one is very simple to understand. It's not overwhelming at all. It's pretty good for those that are beginners to astrology, just getting the head around astrology, or just as a fun gift idea. The detailed one is just like what I do on my channel, just a lot of insight and interpretation on your chart. So if you are interested in that and everything else astrology and tarot related, readings and gifts, then definitely check out my Etsy store. Links are below. I'm always releasing new things, so definitely check it out if you're interested. You can even just favorite the store just to show your support for free. Thanks for listening and let's get back to the reading.
Ariana's sun opposite Evan's Neptune. Misunderstandings we see again. Ariana has a lack of trust and there's delusion and deception. Evan promises more than fulfills and they both need to be clear with each other. Yeah, I see that. I feel like from what we have been seeing so far, there does seem to be, we've been seeing the misunderstandings quite a few times already. But there is also that thing with their intentions. Ariana believes Evan is her soulmate. Yikes. I mean, we haven't seen anything else. Maybe we'll see a bit more about this. Ariana's sun trine Evan's Pluto. It's transformative and a productive relationship. We did see a goal note, so I have to assume they potentially have worked on projects together. I'm not exactly sure where. I know Ariana did a bit of acting, but I don't believe any of it was to do with Evan, so you know, they are fascinated with each other and they both want to get to know each other deeply. We did see earlier they do have some kind of like for each other, so Evan inspires Ariana to dramatically transform herself. Evan's sun trine Ariana's moon. There's honest communication and Evan relies on Ariana's support. support, and Ariana relies on Evan's wisdom. So I have to assume there is some kind of work element here. Again, I'm not really sure where they would have worked together. If not working together, definitely have that sort of colleague dynamic where they rely on each other on work-related things, if that makes sense. Naturally cooperative relationship, and Ariana tends to be dependent on Evan. This is potentially why he sees her as clingy. Both feel they can rely on each other. Evan's sun opposite Ariana's Mercury. They have a great intellectual relationship, and misunderstandings occur, again with the misunderstandings. Evan finds Ariana too analytical, and it is not good long term. I'm not shocked. We haven't seen a lot of real, glue factors together. We've seen a lot more deteriorating factors, unfortunately. Ariana's understanding of Evan and Ariana may feel misunderstood, so potentially a lot of the misunderstanding things is just a lot on Ariana's end. Evan may feel threatened and insignificant. Interesting. We did see the whole thing where Ariana feels challenged by Evan's dominance. Potentially Ariana feels a bit more naturally assertive and dominant, which is why Evan may feel threatened and insignificant, but hopefully we'll see a bit more to get more clarity. Communicate well besides differing views, and Ariana sees Evan as self-centered. I'm not really surprised if there is Evan seeing her as a bit too detached and dependent on him. She could very easily see him as being more self-centered if he's detached and more on his own, if that makes sense. They need to have a level of emotional detachment for marriage. Interesting, we've seen 2 marriage notes already. Not that it indicates it will be a good marriage though. Evan's sun trine Ariana's Jupiter. They will overdo together, and they are good travel companions. Possibility of unpredictability, and Ariana boosts Evan's confidence, again with the whole confidence ego thing. Both have a desire to make the other happy. I see that. There doesn't seem to be super deep resentment. It's just only over time we do see they get more annoyed with each other. But I feel like at the core they do seem to have they like each other, they're okay with each other, they boost each other's egos and confidence. Positive mutual respect will be maintained if they separate. So I'm not really sure what their relationship was. Although we haven't seen anything super positive so far, although we haven't seen anything to indicate they were in this super serious, deep relationship, we have seen a lot of deteriorating factors. And that there is a sort of separation. So potentially they were together. I'm not really sure, but I have to assume they were together on some kind of capacity. Ariana gives Evan the benefit of the doubt frequently. So now it's time for moon. We have Ariana's moon in Libra and Evan's moon in Libra, same sign. Instinctively understand one another and they please each other. Again, we're seeing pleasing, wanting to make each other happy. They both need a partner to feel complete. This isn't necessarily like they need each other to feel complete, but they at the core have that they need to have someone else, a sort of, partner in their life. As it says, they need a partner to feel complete, so they could potentially understand that about the other. They share everything equally and they spend a lot of time talking. We did see they have that intellectual connection. They create an aesthetic home together. Not sure if they live together. Again, we do see some kind of joint thing together that these two had that seemed to have broken up. Evan's moon overlaid in Ariana's 8th house. Ariana can go deep into Evan's psyche and there's a deep connection. Ariana can awaken Evan's inner demons. Interesting. Potentially why he feels he's getting too close or too clingy, so to speak. It's an emotionally nurturing relationship and possibility for them to come back together after a separation. There seems to be some major separation that happened. I'm very curious because as far as I know, they were never married or anything like that or anything super serious. But it'll be interesting, whatever way they had this separation. Their moon signs are conjunct together, so they are intuitive with each other and they both have in tune moods. They accept each other's feelings and they like to support each other. Again, we're seeing with the support. Tendency to get passive aggressive. I definitely see that because we haven't seen anything too aggressive, but there have been some sort of, I feel like that whole thing they like each other but not the habits I believe we did see makes total sense because they do seem to like each other, but there does seem to be some sort of, core things they don't agree. off each other, which probably makes them passive-aggressive. Ariana's moon trine Evan's Mercury. They are comfortable talking to each other about everything. It's a harmonious relationship, and Evan enjoys being emotionally nourished by Ariana. Evan provides a foundation for Ariana's feelings, and Evan is comfortable expressing his feelings. Ariana's moon opposite Evan's Mars. It's an emotional roller coaster. Ariana finds Evan to be aggressive, potentially passive-aggressive. Evan finds Ariana to be demanding, and they both get defensive. Both react instinctually to each other, which would be very interesting because, as we have seen, they do seem to be emotionally quite similar, so it would be very interesting to have that sort of react instinctually with someone who is very similar to you. Her dependency is likely to occur, and Ariana wants commitment with Evan. Obviously why he would see her as a bit clingy and dependent if she's making this known to him. Ariana's moon is square Evan's Neptune. They misunderstand each other's signals, we've been seeing. Possibility of neglecting each other, definitely Evan with Ariana for sure, because we did see that Ariana is emotionally nurturing, or at least Evan appreciates that from her, so it seems like on Evan's end he would be neglecting Ariana. It's a confusing relationship and there's a difficulty maintaining relationship. There really does seem to be some kind of difficulty maintaining it and issues with longevity of it, because we have seen separation quite a lot. Ariana is unsure of Evan's intentions. The only thing we have seen regarding intentions is both of them seem to have be here because their egos are boosted, but anything on Evan's end specifically, I mean, again, with Ariana emotionally nurturing him, but besides that, not much else. Ariana is sensitive to Evan's moods. Evan's moon conjunct Ariana's Jupiter, easy to overdo and be excessive, we see again. They have a positive influence as a couple. They have to have something together that they've done very seriously. I feel like I don't know what it is because I don't believe they have done any massive projects together. Potentially something behind the scenes they did together. Relationship of opportunities and fortune. They need to learn balance and they take risks as a couple. Evan feels luckier and more adventurous around Ariana. Ariana expands Evan's way of thinking about life. Potentially just being more emotional and vulnerable. They support people in need together. So now it's time for Mercury. We have Ariana's Mercury in Cancer and Evan's Mercury in Aquarius. Conflict between Evan's detachment and Ariana's attachment. Ariana can be impatient with Evan's excessive analysis, which I think we have seen on Evan's end. He gets frustrated with Ariana being too analytical, so they potentially just don't like what the other has to, not what they have to say, but I guess their criticism. Neither are self-centered. Evan's Mercury overlaid in Ariana's first house. Evan can easily express himself to Ariana, and Ariana finds it easy to understand Evan. Definitely on an emotional sense, she probably does. Ariana feels more talkative around Evan. Evan's Mercury trine Ariana's Jupiter. Ariana is enthusiastic about Evan's thoughts and ideas, which is nice. They have positive and inspiring conversations, and they have a strong friendship. Ariana introduces Evan to new ways of thinking, we see again. Ariana can be too lenient with Evan, going back to how she gives him the benefit of the doubt frequently. Evan helps Ariana with self-expression, and business together is advantageous. I have to assume they have some kind of major business going on. They have something big together, I feel like. Optimistic meeting, and they come from different cultures. I know they're both American. I'm pretty sure both of them are. I'm not sure what Evan's background is. Ariana, I'm not too sure either, except that she did come from a wealthy background through her mother, I believe. They enjoy traveling together. We see the traveling again. So now it's time for Venus. We have Ariana's Venus in Taurus and Evan's Venus in Sagittarius. Evan makes the relationship exciting. I'm sure he would keep Ariana on her toes. Ariana gets frustrated with Evan's optimism, potentially because we did see on Evan's end, he sees her as a bit too realistic and analytical, so potentially this is coming from. Evan doesn't understand Ariana's desire for security. Interesting. I need to know what these two were, because we did see that Ariana wants commitment with Evan in whatever way that is. I assume this is where Evan would be why do you need security? Because potentially a lot of people, and Ariana potentially as well, Commitment is security. Ariana is possessive of Evan. Evan's Venus overlaid in Ariana's 11th house. Evan immediately likes Ariana and they are comfortable with each other, we keep seeing. Ariana senses she can be herself around Evan. It's nice that they both feel they can be themselves around each other. Both share the same social activities and hobbies. They are both open with each other and they are good friends. Ariana's Venus sextile Evan's Jupiter. Materially successful, we keep seeing. Evan finds Ariana interesting and they have ability to get over issues. They see the good in each other and it's a relationship of growth. It definitely seems like in a sort of more business, like career goal money way, it's more growth there. They trust each other and they thrive in each other's companies and they're a socially popular couple. We see again they seem to have some kind of social influence together. So now it's time for Mars. We have Ariana's Mars in Virgo and Evan's Mars in Aries. It's a practical relationship. I believe we do see again, going back to how they're a bit more competitive. Evan gets irritated with Ariana's perfectionism. Interesting. Potentially why he gets more and more irritated with her over time. Ariana tends to be critical of Evan. So it seems like, because we have been seeing they both seem to be a bit more critical, analytical with each other, it seems to be coming more from Ariana. Evan's Mars overlaid in Ariana's 3rd house. Evan is more blunt around Ariana and Ariana may intimidate Evan, which I feel like we have seen already that Evan just feels a bit more, I believe we saw it feels a bit more inferior to Ariana. Ariana is sensitive to Evan's intensity. Again, we're seeing Ariana is a bit more sensitive to Evan. Ariana's Mars trine Evan's Neptune. There's a lack of boundaries. Ariana is more dominant. Okay, so there does seem to be that kind of like power issue where Ariana needs to be the more assertive, more dominant one. Evan strengthens Ariana's ego. We see again kind of with the whole ego stroking thing. Ariana feels confident around Evan, as we've been seeing. Evan's Mars opposite Ariana's Jupiter. Differences in the way they look at things. I believe we have seen again the different views. Ariana sees Evan as selfish. We're seeing again. Evan doesn't appreciate Ariana's thought out approach to problem solving. We haven't seen a great deal when it comes to how they deal with problems together. We did see they have that ability to get over issues, but like problem solving together as such, we haven't seen a great deal amount of. But this would probably be relating to, oh, Ariana's too analytical, too rational with things. Evan's way of impressing is taken the wrong way. What I get from this is potentially Evan a lot of potentially there, being too hard to get, because we have seen that sort of detachment, and that is the only thing that Ariana seems to be genuinely frustrated with Evan. So potentially that he's playing hard to get in a way. Ariana may be a bad influence and they are likely to take risks together. I believe we have seen they take risks together. They have conflicting beliefs. So that was the final aspect, bringing us to the end of the reading. If you are still watching, comment down your thoughts below. I would be very curious to see what you guys have to say about this one. I feel like it's definitely a different reading. I'm very curious to know the exact relationship between Ariana and Evan, because it seems to be like quite significant in a way. There seems to be a lot of separation from something big. So I'll be very curious to see what you guys have to say about these two and what you guys know about them, definitely. If you have made it this far, please consider subscribing for more. I post these weekly. And besides that, give this video a like and I will see you guys next time. Bye!